And look, his legacy is cemented as one of the most gifted, innovative scorers we've ever seen in the history of the game. Like, he's proven that, right? Multiple scoring titles, MVP. He's incredible. But at the end of the day, we evaluate teams or players on how many championships have you won, right? It's things that have haunted players in the past.
Ask Charles about that.
We probably will, right?
Right.
And I think when you look at James Harden, the way things went down last game with Russell Westbrook taking the last couple of shots, those last couple of possessions, me as a basketball player recognizing that, and Key and I talk about this, is I think we were both alphas when we were on the court. And James is an alpha in a way, but I felt like at times James becomes passive around Russell Westbrook. Now, I thought it had to do with coaching. It did. Like, I really think that at that time you needed the head coach to say, hey, give the ball to James Harden. But also, he's not the only one at fault. James Harden needed to say to Russ, give me the ball, Russ. Give me the ball. So I think tonight, if we have OKC, I'll ask you this, Key. Would it shock anybody here if we woke up tomorrow morning, if you didn't watch the game, and the headline was OKC wins Game 7? Would that shock you?
I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Isn't that a problem? Isn't that a problem when you're thinking about multiple MVP winners on the same team having a chance to win a championship with the Houston Rockets with the style in which they play?
Well, when they got Westbrook, the first thing people said, can they coexist? Two ball-dominant players. Can they coexist? We saw what happened with CP3 and Harden, right? They had Golden State in the headlock, and then when CP3 got hurt, it kind of got away from him a couple years ago.
But he got hurt.
Yeah, but he got hurt. It got away from him a couple years ago. The marriage ended. They moved on, sent him to OKC. Now when you look at it, you say to yourself, what is James Harden? Where's that legacy? If you don't win a championship or you don't put yourself in a championship position, people are going to look at you as a regular season scoring champion, and that's pretty much it, an MVP. So you don't ever want to be known just based on statistics. That's why always when we talk about winning championships, man, it was so damn important for me to win a Super Bowl. It was so important. It was important not only to win the Super Bowl, but be an important part of winning the Super Bowl, to make sure that I had a great season, all of those sort of things. So when you look at it, yeah, our defense was dominant, but I played a very important role because that's important to be able to have a championship. I don't care about all them Pro Bowls and playoff appearances and can I finish the deal with a ring on? Because it's like a degree. Nobody can take that away from you. And when you win a championship, nobody can take that away from you. They can talk about the regular season and you're a champion and the regular season and you're MVP and comeback player of the year. But it's different when you got that ring on your finger.
Facts, and I think the narrative that
Facts is correct.
Facts is correct. And I think the narrative then becomes, if they lose Game 7 to Chris Paul, what kind of player does James Harden need to play with that can actually help him do that? It's not an alpha. It's not an alpha, right? Look at the last 2 years.
Right.
Look at the last 2 years. CP3 was an alpha. That was a problem. Russell Westbrook, an alpha. James Harden didn't take the last two. I don't know if James Harden is an alpha all the way.
Yeah.
James Harden is an alpha in the way he scores, but I don't know if he's a demonstrative mentality of an alpha. Give me the damn ball, alpha. That's Russell Westbrook.
I think he is that give me the damn ball alpha. I think he is. I've seen times where he's just basically in the games took it and took the shot. You said what type of player would he need to play with? It's not who he needs to play with. It's him playing a certain way. If you go back to his days at OKC when it was him, KD, Perk, in obviously in Harden, when you look at that, he wasn't the main focal point. He was kind of a guy with a bunch of guys. That's what he needs to be able to do, is get with a team that got a couple guys that will allow him to do what he needs to do, but not try and do too much.
So, yeah, you know what? You're maybe right. So maybe we need to, if this happens, then I think you have to start resetting expectations.
Yes.
For James Harden.
Like I don't need James Harden to score 40 points every night.
We're not going to win that way.
We're not going to win that way.
Wow. So then the conversation becomes, is James Harden our second best player, our third best player to win a championship?
Man, that's okay. There's nothing wrong.
But people will go crazy with a guy who can score 45, 50, one of the most gifted scorers we've ever seen in history. That's like saying,
but that's okay.
But
though,
like AI,
man.
if we're saying AI become a second option, AI won a championship being that guy.
What championship?
No, he didn't. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
what
I take that
championship
back.
AI won?
I didn't. You're right. You're right.
He
I take that back. He went to the championship. I take that back.
Went to the finals and
Like I
stepped
said,
over Ty
I'm on a
Lue.
lack of sleep. I'm out here. I'm struggling. Mickey cut me.
No, it's
But
all
you're
good.
right.
It's all good. We make mistakes and we correct them. That's what we do. But if you think about it, though, Z, and you go back to his OKC days, the way that they style in which they play, that's what he needs, not the D'Antoni system that allows you just to jack up threes all day long. No, you don't. No, it's not going to work with him. You can't do it. It has been proven that is not the way to win a championship.
Could be the final game for Mike D'Antoni as well. He's 69 years old. His contract is up. There's been a lot of discussion around him. Keyshawn J. Will Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is changing the way you buy home insurance. Now you can go online, get a custom quote, and save both time and money. Learn more at progressive.com. Doris Burke is 3 minutes away. Tim Legler echoes exactly what Jay Will said. He said this on Mike Greenberg's radio show, Greeny, yesterday. Essentially, the burden on the beard is heavy.
Till he gets them all the way, and I mean talking about 2A finals, he's going to continue to deal with this every time his teams come up short in the postseason. So I think a lot of it's going to fall at his feet. He has to have a big-time performance. When you put your offense, Greeny, that much in one player's hands, the way that they do, it's unprecedented in NBA history, the way they operate their offense around one player. Well, then you need to come through with a huge performance when your team has to have it. So it's going to fall in large part at his feet. And I think, obviously, with Mike D'Antoni not having a new contract, I think that would lead to a coaching change as well. So there's going to be some definite changes the way you look at everything, and there's no question Harden can't escape this if they don't win this game.
I mean, Jay, I think that is put super well from the standpoint of, usage, all the nerds, the numbers guys, they love the usage rate at the end of the day. But, Key, you're talking just what are my eyes showing me? Right?
Yeah,
what are my eyes showing me?
It shows you that he gets a lot of shots up, he scores a lot of points, but at the end, they can't finish. And you can't win that way long-term in the NBA. I didn't play in the NBA, but I'm not a damn fool. I know what I'm seeing. Right. I know sports. And when you think about it, whether it was the great Phoenix Suns teams of Steve Nash.
With D'Antoni, by the way.
D'Antoni, right. Or whether he was out in L.A. when he was coaching with us and couldn't figure it out, or whether it's here in Houston, or whether it was with the Knicks. You're going to always be at the top of the leaderboard in scoring, but at the end, you can't finish the deal. And I know CP3 had him in the position a couple years ago, and he got hurt, and it kind of just disappeared. But you got two guys and MVPs, like you said, Jay, and Russell Westbrook as well as Harden, that are high-octane scoring machines. You can't have that without having some sort of plan in place when that doesn't go the way you envision it to go, and they do not have another plan in place.
You're all or nothing. That's what you are.
That's it.
You're all or nothing.
There's no adjustment.
The scary part about all of this, though, Zubin, is that we still haven't seen the all yet. We haven't seen the all yet. We haven't seen both Russell Westbrook and James Harden get hot. And as an avid, diehard basketball fan, as a fan of sports, there ain't nothing better when you have two high-caliber players that get hot at the same time. If that were to happen, because, look, 2020, you had to expect the unexpected. But if that were to happen, that would be – I would give them a chance to beat the Lakers if that were to happen, if they got hot at the same time. If they got hot, they had to be extremely hot. But here's the thing. You're always on the edge of your seat waiting for it to happen because of the potential of it happening.
But you got to also take into consideration – when one of them get hot, they going to stay hot and not shed a rock.
That's not necessarily true.
That's part of the problem. No, man, that's part of the problem.
That's not necessarily true.
Brook going to try to go for 60 if he at 35.
I hear you, but
and Harden is at 35. He going to try to go for 100.
But there have been games and both those guys have had 35, 40 points, like where it just everybody else gets in where they fit in. Like that's what you have all the ancillary pieces around them for.
But has that been in a situation in a Game 7 where all that pressure is on you now?
No, but I'm saying, once again, the mentality is, look, survive in advance. My thing is you need to get to a new day in order to see what that new day brings you, but you need to get to that new day first. You need a big-time game from James Harden tonight and Russell Westbrook to get by on Game 7 in order to get to a new day with the Lakers.
Think about Brook in Game 5? Game 5 with the last shot. Was it 5?
Brody, you mean Game 6?
It was Game 6. Okay. Think about Westbrook. I mean, he shot the ball. He didn't give it up. He decided he was going to take the last couple shots. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. When you got that type of mentality, You